All right, good morning, good morning, good morning, traders. How we doing? How we feeling? Let me stop hitting the mic. Feeling good, feeling great. How are you? Just give me 1 second. All right. Let's get it started with the quote of the day. We got motivation is what gets you started. Habit is what keeps you going. And that's from Jim Ryan. All right. That is the motivation of the quote of the day, not the motivation of the day. It is the quote of the day about motivation. There we go. All right, so let's get into this pre-market insight. All right, so today we got Fed Chair Powell is supposed to speak. Actually, there's more than he's not the only one that's speaking today. Let's see if I can, maybe we can see the Twitter later. And then also, as usual, crude oil inventories at 10:30. All right, so that's what we got on the schedule today. So we got to keep that in mind for 10, that we got some Fed action going on. And then tomorrow, again, Powell is supposed to be testifying at 10 with new home sales. And in the pre-market at 8:30, we got initial jobless claims. And then core durable goods on Friday. All right, so that's what we look like. That's what we're looking like for the economic calendar for the rest of the week. Let's go ahead and check out this NQ power range. All right, so for the NQ futures session for today, we had, and for the power range, we had a high of 11,167 with a low of 11,111, all ones. At the time of this posting, which was at 8 o'clock on the dot, we were trading neutral with a change of 0.14%, a volume of 92K, ATR of 323 and 11. All right, ATR is still pretty high even for this year. You know, ATR has been higher for this year than usual. So we should be seeing, you know, a lot of volatility as we've been seeing lately. So we can see here, this is like the total list of all of the of everybody that's supposed to be speaking on the Federal Reserve side of the game. All right. And click off of there. Let's go ahead and look at how we performed overnight. This is not the right one. Did I not post it? I guess I didn't post it. But we can look at this chart. I don't know, I forgot to post it last night. All right. So we can see out the open of the future session, we traded sideways. This is a 3-minute chart. Traded sideways for a while, and then around in the European session, we had some bulls come in and drive the price higher. And then today's pre-market, we've took out all of that bullish trading in the European session, and we're back pretty much to where we opened. We're kind of trading sideways right now. I got this nice little pattern that we're working on. All right, trading in a tight range, and eventually, we'll break out of here. We just don't know when. Mouth is a little dry this morning. All right. I got to get my pre-market snapshot to put in the journal. This is something that I do every single morning. Part of my trading routine. I think it's important to have your routine that you do every single day before you start trading, during your trades, after you trade. It keeps you in a habit. Pretty much like the quote of the day. Developing those habits, breeds consistency, which helps your profitability. Go ahead and paste that in the journal. And then I have this information to reference if I want to go back and, which is really the purpose of the journal, not only to, write out and track down what you did for the day and get that kind of that live replay, or that, so that what you was thinking at the time. You can go back and review it and see how that measures up with your what hindsight capital says. And you have all of that you can go back and reference, and then you can see what needs to be improved and what you're doing right. I like to focus mostly on what I'm doing right. For me personally, when I was focusing a lot on what I was doing wrong, it kind of put me into the cycle of continuing to do those wrong things. So I still pay attention, of course, to what can be improved, but I like to put most of the focus on what I'm doing right when I'm reviewing my trades, my past trades, and what I did for the day. Let's get some music going. We got about 4 minutes to the bell. Other than the Federal Reserve stuff, I don't see a whole lot of interesting things in the news this morning. right, and we are open. Have to make sure I remember to take it out of sim mode, because usually after I finish trading for the day, a lot of times I go back and replay that session just to kind of have like a quick practice session, or to look at something that I wanted to review that I saw earlier through the day, and I study it like a professional athlete would study game tape. So sometimes I forget to turn off the sim mode, because of course it's gonna replay whatever I'm looking at in sim mode. Actually happened to me yesterday. I placed a trade thinking I was placing a live trade, but it was still in sim mode. I forgot to turn that off. See, opened up, traded bullish into that into a couple pivot points. Had some sellers sitting up there. Should have took that one at 2 contracts. I let that one play out just to see what would happen. The entry was, it was that's why I got the signal to go short there. But we traded down to, you see right here with that, we have the low of the power range where we had some buyers sitting at, and the buyers are, came in, they're trying to push it back higher. It looks like they're taking over. If I wanted to scalp it, which I wasn't, planning on scalping it, I could have had a order sitting right there, right above the, or right on the. If hindsight capital says I should have, I could have had it above the power range, the low of the power range, but I don't really want to get into the habit of scalping. Might have gotten chopped out on volatility. Yep. Had the direction right, just the volatility got me. It gave me an idea for some content. I have to write this down. And usually I don't like trading out and when price breaks this like whenever we're in a channel, or if there's a flag pattern or a pennant pattern, I usually don't like to take the break out of that, but it is a signal, so I got to follow my signal. I don't like NinjaTrader. It didn't show me what I needed to see right there. Anyway, yeah, I usually don't like to take the break out of when price is trading in one of these, short-term channels. But the way that my, that was a signal, so I had to take it. And it could have worked out if I would have traded like I explained earlier. If you just hear me typing, then I'm putting some stuff, some ideas in my journal, which I will post later on today after today's session. Well, after my personal trading session. Actually, I may be changing the way that I do my journal, or the way that I post the journal to the website in the near future. I got an idea of a different way to do it for those who watch it or who goes and looks at it. Also, I'm thinking about starting the Discord. So, well, technically it's already set up. I've started setting it up already. So if you're interested in that, like this video or leave a comment in the chat section, or if you're watching this later, leave a comment below this video if you're interested in joining me in a Discord on a Discord channel. It's really choppy right now, so I'm just gonna sit back and at this point I'm not gonna be too aggressive. I'm gonna wait for the quote-unquote perfect signals. Which would be my normal signal. Sometimes I would call it audible and just trade what I'm looking at, trade what I'm seeing. Technically this would be one.
Order submitted. Order filled. Stop filled.
That one didn't work out. So the normal strategy isn't working out so well for me this morning. It's too choppy. Price action is way too choppy. Alright, so I do also have to keep in mind that we're 10 minutes away from the Fed event or chain of events, since there's supposed to be several speakers. So I have to make sure I keep that in mind. It could be, part of the reason why everything is so choppy right now. Bang it. If I was being aggressive, I saw a trade there, but I'm not going to be aggressive this morning. take a screenshot of this. I took a screenshot of what I just stated. And of course, that's the one I needed. Of course, that one would have worked out. It be like that sometimes. Alright. So my thoughts on that one, I posted. I put a screenshot of that one in the journal, which I will post later on mv3trader.com. If you're interested to see what it is, just head over to mv3trader.com, go to the journal section, and you will see the journal with today's date on it, and then you can see what would have been a winner for me had I taken it. It's one of those mornings. can change that. Alright, so at this point I'm just waiting for some pullback for a possible, one more trade. I have a 3-loss rule. If I take 3 losses, then I got to be done for the day. So if I see something interesting or something, if I get a good setup, then I'll take it. Again, I'm still not gonna, be aggressive. I'm just gonna take my main setups. At this point, this is I put it this way. This is at a point where when I started trading, like, the first year or so, when I was a new trader, this is a point where I would get into some FOMO trading, like that I took those 2 losses and then I missed this one, because I, wanted the best setups, and that just was not the best. That was not the best signal, of course, according to, what I see and how I see it, and my plan and my strategy. And then that one would have been the one that worked out. I would have had to call it, I call it calling an audible. Just kind of use a reference, a football reference. But with all of that, with everything that took place this morning in terms of the trades that I took, before this would be a place where I would have, I would set into, I would get caught up in FOMO, and I would start trading too aggressive and dig the hole even further. So over time, I have developed my discipline and just understanding that, today, that's just, the losses that I took today was not significant at all, really. The drawdown really doesn't matter as long as I stay consistent, because the market will continue to be open. And if the market doesn't open, then we got a bigger problem than me taking a couple losses. So just some things to keep in mind for myself, as well as, if it helps someone else out there that hears that. Or someone that may need to hear that. When we have a bad day, or it's not necessarily, I wouldn't even call it a bad day, but when we have a quote unquote red day, we have to remember that, it's only one day, it's only a couple trades, as long as we stay consistent. The key is in consistency and in persistence. So the market has a way, it's not really the market, it's really you, but the way you hear it explained a lot is the market has a way of shaking traders who really, let's just say, don't belong out of the market. But if you really want it, all you really have to do is stay persistent and be consistent with your strategy and with your plan. And it will work out for you. Results will vary, but persistence and consistency is really the key. I'm gonna place this order up here. This one will be a must take.
Order submitted.
And if the reason like I'm not really calling out what I'm trading is because this, I don't want this to become a thing where traders come here and follow my trades. This is not, the purpose of the stream is not really to have people follow what I do. The whole purpose of MV3 Trader is to, help others build, strategies and help others be able to find some success within the market, whatever it is they trade. So it's not, I don't want to get into this thing where I have new traders following, the trades that I take or the trades that anyone else take. I really don't 100% believe in that method. I mean, I'm not gonna, no shade on anyone who, has a business around that model. But that's just not my personal, it's not the way that I want to do it. Kind of don't feel like where I placed that order, I don't feel like we're gonna get there. As we can see with this pivot point, we do have some resistance around the 110, or yeah, there's some resistance around the 110 area in that range. We didn't even make it there. That could have been a volume profile trade in hindsight. Again, so to take that trade, I would have had to be, that would have been an audible, which I will screenshot it and post it in the journal.
Order canceled.
And also in that journal, you will see where I had that order placed, because I didn't remove it before I took the screenshot. Alright. Alright, so I don't think I'm really gonna get any opportunities before, my before the time where I stop trading, which is at 10:30, before the end of my trading session. There we go. So I'm gonna go ahead and jump off the stream. If you do want to see everything that I talked about in detail, in a little bit more detail with the screenshots, and so you kind of get the insight on how I see it and what I'm looking at, that's one of the benefits of the journal. You do get to see things that I may not explain in complete detail. I may not have the words to explain it, or you get to see it kind of through my eyes and more with more detail in how I explain it in the journal. So that's one of the benefits of the journal. If you want to go check it out, all right, it's there for me and it's there for you. All right, so with all that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and jump off of here. Hopefully you guys are having a better day trading this morning, and I hope you have a good rest of your day, and I will holler at you later. Deuces.